Yeah. Just taking some notes.
What's your note?
What happens dead? Because I didn't think I had time.
Welcome to whatever the fuck this is.
I didn't think I had time to write down what happens when you die. Because we were getting started.
What happens dead?
Well, since we're talking, I'll read my other notes. Don't worry, the table's not sticky. Sorry, it might smell like spiders in here.
All right, so essentially we're starting a podcast where we asked our friends to give us random questions that they could probably just Google, but, why bother? Which I thought Why Bother would be a cool podcast name, but there's already like 5 of them with that name. So we can still do it, we just have to be the best one.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
Why bother?
That's fine. No, I mean, we can be the best one, yeah.
No, why bother? That's the podcast.
Yeah. I know, but I'm saying, like, that's fine because we can be the best. Why bother? Okay, you start with your questions.
The very first question I got was from Carter. What is the meaning of life?
Jesus. That's not the answer.
For some people it is.
Man, that's tough. That's like an interview question.
That is not an interview. What job are you going to where they ask you what the meaning of life is?
Like a
Hey,
church
showed up
goer.
to be a priest. So, that's a deep question. I think at a certain point everybody is going to be forgotten. So I think the best thing we can do with life and the meaning of life is to just leave the world a little bit better than it was when we were born into it.
Oh my god, that's nice.
Thank you.
That's really nice. Shit. So I was gonna say, like, maybe to be happy.
Taco Bell.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, one time, so I did this paper on John Lennon when I was in high school, and he was like, he was so cocky. He was really full of himself, but he had this quote where he was like, one of my teachers said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he was like, "Happy." And that's kind of what I feel is like, that kind of sums it up.
I will say the only time I still pray is for my kids' happiness.
To who?
Whatever's listening.
To the universe. I do that too. I believe in the universe.
It's good, it's real.
Well, that's, I mean,
right now.
You know what? That's actually one of my questions. So, segue is, and this was kind of a difficult to word question, but what is the universe? Like, how far does it go? What is it made of? I mean, I know we kind of know. Like, there's science answers for this, but also, and I'll tell you a theory that I have. It's not a popular theory, but so the black is soil. The stars are the little white dots that are in soil. And we are the seeds. The planets. Stay with me here.
I'm listening.
The planets are the seeds. So we're even smaller. We're dust. Like, we don't matter. But the planets, Earth, is one of the tiny seeds that's planted in this soil, which is the universe. But then what? That's all I have.
I thought you were going somewhere with that.
No, it's not really a good question, but it's a thought.
I kind of subscribe to the simulation theory. Like, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist, but, the idea that we're all just living in an AI's computer-generated simulation. Like,
Matrixy.
Yeah. Things are just so fucking crazy, and I'm sure, like, everyone throughout time has thought that, like, right now it's the worst things are ever gonna get. And in a sense, like, it is, but it's also the best that it's ever been. So I think the universe is, fucked.
Like, it's gonna implode. Do you think the moon landing was fake? I mean, you talked about conspiracies. I mean, I had never thought the moon landing was fake in my life. And then Corey, one day, was like, maybe it is. And I was like,
whoa.
oh, shit. Oh, so I was taking a bath. And I was watching YouTube. I watched a YouTube video for like 30 minutes, and I think it was fake. I think after watching that, my thoughts have changed. It's pretty easy to sway me in one direction or the other, so that 30 minutes was pretty solid.
I understand why people think it was faked. I think, in a sense, the 1969 moon landing that, like, we have the video recording of and is super popular, I think that was faked. But I do think we have been to the moon. But we were, like, in the peak of the Cold War with Russia, and we didn't want to lose that war, so I think we would have done anything to win that. And at the time, being the first to land on the moon was like, this is how we win this war. So I do think that was faked. Next question. This is from Anonymous. Why am I so dumb?
Okay, so there's a lot of answers that could contribute to that. I mean, were your parents dumb? Maybe start there. maybe look if it goes throughout your family tree. Maybe it's in your genes. That's where I'd start with that.
You're a harsher critic than I am.
Oh.
I would say whoever asked this question, and this could be like anybody, why am I so dumb? I think you only think you're dumb because you're comparing yourself to the intelligence of someone else who might show, like, if I tried to compare myself to you based off, like...
Then you would look dumb. I get it.
Based off your career experience, I would feel dumb as compared to you. In common sense, I feel pretty damn smart.
All right, Al partner, that really hurt.
So I think it's a matter of perspective.
Where I thought you were going with that was if the person is asking if they're dumb, or why they're dumb, rather, then they're actually not dumb. Because I think self-awareness doesn't exist in ignorant people.
Like, the more you know, the less you know.
That's exactly right.
Okay,
I mean, the more that you know, it's seriously, you realize the less that you understand in life. Bagheera. And, so honestly, I think if anyone is asking themselves, am I dumb? Why am I dumb? They're not dumb. I don't think anybody that's dumb, quote unquote, that I've met has ever been like, no, they're always the opposite.
They think they're smart as fuck.
They think they're the smartest thing since bread.
So if you ask this question, you're not as dumb as you think you are. Probably.
Well, maybe. We don't know that, to be fair. I'm not saying like anybody. You could definitely be dumb.
Your question?
Oh.
Next question.
Is religion real? But not real, accurate. Is religion accurate? It's a big question. It's so open-ended because there's so many different religions. But kind of going back to what you said, where you still pray, but it's like to the universe.
Spirituality over religion.
Spirituality. That's me.
I think religion is important in the grand scheme of history. I think not even think, like, it has done a lot throughout the world. But as far as, like, is it accurate? Who knows? We cannot know until we're dead. I actually read a book called A Short Stay in Hell where the characters, like, they die and pretty much everyone goes to hell because the only true religion in this book was called Zoroastrianism. And there are only like 200 people in the world who believe in it. So everybody else just goes to hell.
Man, that'd be fucked.
But there are so many different religions out there. I don't know. I think the big takeaway from almost all major religions is treat other people how you want to be treated. Don't be a jerk. Except for the Old Testament, you kill people who are different.
Yeah, I don't know much about religion because my parents were never religious, so it's hard for me to answer that question because I told Corey this question before, and he was like, he laughed at me because he was like, you're too snarky and cynical of religion to unbiasedly answer that question.
That's fair. I grew up Southern Baptist, and they were a very judgmental church. Like, the only things I ever remember being talked about were Easter, Jesus dying, Jesus being reborn, and everyone is going to hell. Like, you're all sinners and you're going to burn for it. Like, that was all I remember, and I had a lot of religious trauma growing up. So I did branch out, and the only religion I found that really I felt like I could follow along with was Anton LaVey's Satanic Bible. And it preaches that you worship the self, like you are the only thing in the entire universe you have control over, so just do what makes you happy as long as it's not hurting other people. And it does stress that you don't hurt other people.
I'm gonna write this down, this part. But now that you're done talking, I guess I don't have to. Because I was gonna say, do you even think you have control over yourself?
To an extent.
Because that kind of goes back into the simulation thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think free will overall is an illusion. I think we have the option of choice, at least in this country, as opposed to places like North Korea, or, even the majority of Russia. We do have decisions and choices, but ultimately there's still societal expectations. So free will to an extent is an illusion, but I think we do have some control over who we are and what we do.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent.
I never expected this podcast to get this deep.
Well, so I was going to say, do you think I was going to say Carolina. do you think North Carolina will ever be free?
No.
What about North Korea? We can shit talk Kim Jong-un because we're here and he can't get us.
Well, this can never be played in North Korea. I think eventually, yeah, probably. I mean, look at how many other tyrannical dictators there were throughout history, and eventually when enough people rose up and overthrew them, they became a free people. Whether that be long-term, short-term, who knows? But I think, eventually, yeah, it's possible. It might not be North Korea anymore. It could be a completely different country.
Yeah. It might even merge with South Korea and be one Korea to rule them all. Oh, yeah, I mean, it could go the opposite way. Korea could branch out and try to rule all.
I mean, it's nuts to consider or even think about the fact that, like, the map, the way it is now, is going to be this way forever. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean, think of Pangea.
I
bitch don't know
think
about
more
Pangea.
recent with, like, World War II era where Germany was split in half. The USSR split into Russia. I don't know too much about that, so I'm not going to go into the detail, but like, the world is not the way it's going to be forever unless it just, like, explodes tomorrow.
So we had talked about North Korea. I was going to say that there's this house that I saw on Zillow that is a church and, like, made into an old house, and it comes with its own graveyard and everything. How hella cool would that be, though?
That would be fucking dope.
I think so, too.
It'd probably be pretty haunted.
I think so, I don't know. It looks like a newer church, but then I was thinking, man, when you mow, you have to mow around all those headstones.
That would suck.
And, like, what else would be cool? If we could dig up bodies without getting in trouble.
Dude, yes.
Do you think about that all the time, too?
So, you know where I grew up, right? Like, do you know where my house was?
No.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I do, because I picked you up for a party once with my parents. I mean, my parents, right. Because we couldn't drive, but... So
there were 3 graveyards within walking distance, just like around the little neighborhood where I lived. And I thought about that all the time. I was like, I just want to dig one up to see what is in the caskets. Like, I don't want to steal the things. I just want to know what's in it.
Oh, well, that's where I differ. Just kidding. I would never. Yeah, no, I think it would be awesome if we could just dig them up, especially if there's no people left that know them. Yeah,
one of the graveyards by my house was abandoned. Like, the most recent grave was from 1890-something.
At that point, it's like a statute of limitations thing,
Yeah. Don't get caught.
Yeah. After 100 years, I feel like Maybe 200.
I mean, what makes you a grave robber versus an archaeologist besides a piece of paper saying so?
I think nothing.
Nothing.
No, it's probably humans that make it different for sure.
Absolutely not.
I mean,
people
think
dig
about
up
it.
humans all the time.
Do they?
Yeah, they're still
Where?
digging up like pharaohs and
that
shit.
is true. That is true.
Just not in America.
So America's the problem.
America's the problem.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
This comes from Trinity. Why do I have the worst luck ever? And I've been thinking about that. And I don't think you do. I think, again, it's a matter of perspective. Comparing your situations to other situations. I think there are people who have been hurt and abused and just had a shit life who've still managed to come out on top despite everything that they have gone through. And I think that having bad luck definitely happens. People do have bad luck, but I think it's really just what you make of your situation.
I don't know, man. I feel like you can absolutely have bad luck. I mean, I don't know why. And I mean, it sucks to suck, but just kidding. It sucks to have bad luck, which, I mean, that is Dr. Seuss over here. Or Kanye. Like, I just made that up right now. Sucks to have bad luck. You fuck. Yeah, no, I think people have bad luck. The other day, I once again caught my pocket on one of the knobs on the kitchen counters. You know what I'm saying when I say that? Yeah. That's bad luck.
Is it bad luck, or is it just where you happen to be walking at that time?
It's bad luck because also, you know, actually, as the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm already changing my mind because I've heard that, you know, luck is when... What's that called? You don't know it? I really thought you would fill in the blank for me. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So I think bad luck is the opposite, when you're unprepared and it's not an opportune situation. I don't know if that really goes well, but I think you're right. There's no such thing as good luck and bad luck. Are you right? Maybe you're wrong.
This goes back to what you said, where you're so easily swayed.
It's really bad.
I'm also just in a big self-help book period in my life right now. And the one I read last night was like, accept everything, expect nothing. And when you do that, like, you're not going to be let down as much because everyone is only let down by expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You're never let down by anything else. It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like the things that happen, but if you accept that this is happening, whether I like it or not, how am I going to confront it, then you're not dwelling on it.
I think it's lucky when you find a 4-leaf clover.
Yeah. I mean,
you're not prepared for that.
Right.
It's not like you prepared.
That's where I don't think, like, luck is definitely a thing. I don't think anyone can say it's not. Like, people become millionaires from a night at the casino of $200. Like, luck is a thing. It's just a matter of beating the statistical odds.
Ugh, statistics.
Okay. Anonymous asks, would you consider your butthole to be a normal color or no? You are so distraught.
There's so many things to unpack there. Okay, all right, I'll just start
There's
with the top.
only one thing that gets unpacked.
I'll start at the top. It makes sense that they're anonymous. Because what kind of dumbass ass question, LOL. How do they know? I mean, I guess we've all looked at our asshole at one point in time in a mirror, probably. Yeah, for sure, I have. Where would we go with that?
Is your butthole a normal color?
What's normal? Like,
What's
I guess
normal?
you could. Well, A, what is normal? But B, Google it. I mean,
I'm not bleaching my butthole, and it's not blue, so I'm not worried about it.
you know, it's probably a little brown or purple. And that could be for multiple things. People can have illnesses that make their buttholes purple. Oh, he
Do
said
you
it's
know
not
that
blue.
for a fact?
Well, I know that it can happen in your armpits. So,
if it can happen in your pits, it can happen in your hole.
I mean, that makes sense. That checks out, actually. So, I mean, it could be maybe still see a doctor.
Rainey asks, what would it take to have universal harmony across the world? So world peace.
Intelligence. I think that we would have to be a smarter race. I think the smarter we are, the less likely we are to have fights because we're more understanding. So probably intelligence would be the top thing to stop world hunger.
See, I'm going the opposite of intelligence. I'm saying compassion. Or for that matter, just shut the fuck up.
Well,
Like, it is so easy to disagree with somebody and just shut up about it. Like, there's no reason. I talked about this with a friend this week. Like, there's no reason that people have to badmouth or openly disagree with somebody. Like, you can tell me something that I don't necessarily agree with, and I'll just say, okay, that's cool.
But here's the thing. If we were all just a super intelligent being, would we even disagree on
You're
things?
thinking of a hive mind, and we're not human.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, there's this episode of Rick and Morty that I'm thinking of. But you're right. That's hive mind. That's not good. Maybe.
Are you sure? You don't sound convinced.
I'm not.
All right, so this is a multi-part question from Jordan that we'll go one at a time with. Why is it so hard for individuals to prioritize caring for themselves?
Because they feel selfish and they think that's, and sometimes it is a bad emotion.
The next part of that question was, why do we feel so guilty for inconveniencing those we love in the name of our own health?
Because of the compassion you were just talking about.
Compassion? Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, you have to connect some of the dots there, but that's kind of...
Yeah. I think it depends on what your definition or idea of self-love is, or just caring for yourself. I think you can care for yourself without being selfish. I think you can put your needs first without having to put others down to achieve that. But it is a very fine line. It's a balance, especially if you've never done it before. If, for example, like you're setting up boundaries for the first time, it feels bad for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost always brought up by people when they go see a therapist for the first time, is setting boundaries for yourself because it feels bad. Because you've spent your whole life, whether that be just doing what your parents tell you to do and then going into friendships and relationships and doing what they want you to do to be happy. But that's not always good for yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot to unlearn.
Yeah, it is. And it takes time. So it's very easy to fall into fuck you, I'm doing what's best for me attitude. But at the end of the day, that's not really self-love either. That's just...
Right. That's, so the
That's
difference is one is outward and one is inward. So when you
One
get...
is Squidward.
Oh, one is Patrick? Hello?
No.
No, okay. So I think one is outward and one is inward, because when you get to the point where you set boundaries, quote unquote boundaries, when it's, I'm going to do whatever I want, fuck you, that's outward. That's more just, that's pushing towards the other person. But when you've set healthy boundaries for yourself, you're looking inwards at what you actually need, and you're setting that boundary around yourself. So it's like something is defensive or something is offensive. Just like B-ball, my dude.
Just like...
LeBron.
Why do people conform? Asked by Allison.
Oh, because it's easy. It's super easy. You want to feel like you belong. I mean, that's what cults are. I mean, that's what, and don't get me started, but that's what religion is.
Yeah, by definition, organized religion is a cult.
See, I mean, I think so too. But I think that's why it's so easy. It's because you find this might be kind of bold, but I feel like anyone that doesn't love themselves is is susceptible to conforming.
Oh, for sure.
Because
you're
if you love
searching for
yourself,
validation through
yeah,
other people.
Exactly. You're a hollow thing that you need filled up, and whatever fills your cup, whether that's religion or conformity in general.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
I agree
definitely
with you wholeheartedly.
yeah.
Got one more question. 2 more questions. Anonymous asks, "What's your favorite chip?"
Ooh, now this is the kind of thing. Okay, I'm gonna get into this. Okay, so flavor. If we're talking flavor, definitely salt and vinegar. I mean, that's hands down. If you disagree, you're wrong. I mean,
I disagree.
Well, then you're wrong. But I think, let's see. Oh, I gotta change from like deep thinking to shallow thinking now. It's like religion and then potato chips.
So now you're deep thinking.
Yeah, now I am. I gotta really dig deep for the chips. So I think, I'm not a Doritos fan. It's probably easier to even say like what I don't like because I love all chips. It was a long time until I liked Funyuns. So we were on a Girl Scout trip on a bus when I was like 10, and one of the older girls was eating some Funyuns, and we were on our way to go swimming. And she was like, "Here, you want one?" And I'd always seen the outside of the bag, and I was like, that's not for me. I have no idea why I,
Bright yellow, gross.
Right, that was my, which brings me to a different topic in a second. You know what? And this is gross, and I hate to say this, I like pork rinds now as a grown-up. I know. Burn me at the stake. It's terrible. Anyway, I like all kinds of chips. But also, before you answer with your chip, White Castle. So when I was little, again, I mean like 15, I
was little, puberty.
I always thought White Castle served salads. I thought it was the only thing they served. I have no idea why. I guess, what, as an adult looking back, I think it's because it was white. And it looked clean, like if something is... Ooh, that's racy. If something is white, it's clean.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was 15. We were all young ones. So anyway, my mom said, do you want to get White Castle for lunch? And I said, ew, I hate salad.
Were you ridiculed? What does that have to do with the chips?
Don't remember.
Don't ask.
Yeah. Oh, because of the Funyuns. And we were talking about, experiences with chips. And I had experienced that with Funyuns. And then I had experienced the thing with White Castle.
Okay.
Without further ado, what is your favorite chip?
Honey barbecue twisted Fritos.
Shit, those are good.
They're real good.
Oh my god.
The texture could be a little better because you could break a tooth on those things, but
I like how crunchy they are.
They're so fucking good.
Man, I forgot about. Oh, you know what? Chili cheese Fritos.
Not big on those.
Oh god, those are so good. I'm not. Oh, I already said I don't like Doritos. I don't mean to shit on Doritos so much, but
that would be my second choice.
Spicy chili.
And the sweet chili.
Sweet chili.
Those are good. You guys got me onto those.
Yeah.
But nothing,
that would be Corey.
It's hard to beat a classic Dorito with turkey and cheese sandwich right out of the pool.
Oh, you know what I also love? Chef Boyardee. I love ravioli. There's a reason. Right. No, wait, hold on. There's a reason that went from there to there.
I'm kind of cool with not knowing it.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. So whenever I got out of the pool as a kid, that's what I did.
Okay.
See, that's
Raviolis.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get you.
It's not that deep.
The last question I've got. Can one's efforts ever truly feel effortless with the right person?
All right, I'm going to have to really think about that because it didn't make sense to me.
Can one's efforts truly feel effortless with the right person?
I don't know. I guess, yeah. If you're close enough to someone, then it doesn't feel like you're putting in any effort when, I don't know, I guess I say technically you are. I mean, it's effort because you're working at your relationship. But if your relationship is, good, then it's not going to feel like work. It's like loving what you do for work, like you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. And I think that's how it is with relationships of any sort, like spouses, friends, parents, family. I think that, what was I saying? It'll feel effortless. I think that it can feel effortless, with if it's a good relationship, and I say good because that's such a vague term, but if it's healthy, if everyone is happy, what you would think of as a good relationship, then I think it probably feels more effortless to put in the effort.
I would agree with you for the most part. I think there are going to be times where it feels like where you feel the effort.
Helping them move.
I know they say, they say that a relationship is 50-50, but it's not always. The point is that you guys put in 100%, but you're not always going to be at 50%. Some days you're going to be at 10 and they have to put in 90.
Absolutely.
Or you're going to be at 60 and they're putting in 40. So I think there are times where it can be a little overwhelming and it will feel like you're putting in the effort and you're putting in the work, but it's not going to feel like that all the time. I think the majority of the time it feels effortless if you're with the right person.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Especially with the whole 70-30 thing. I mean, once I realized that in a relationship, it's like everything changed. So I'll give you some relationship advice.
Thank you.
So
my wife and I are doing fine, and it's a problem.
Well, that's what my advice is here for. Love languages. That's what I was going to say. No, but for real, love languages is the skeleton key to relationships, and I will die on that hill. Once I learned that it was a thing, and once I learned mine and Corey's, and even other people's in my life, you can see that, this person in your life, they like quality time, or they like gifts, whether it's giving or getting, and like you understand people, and especially your relationship, so much more. It opens these doors, and that's that, and the other thing, or relationship advice.
Yeah, I think knowing your partner's love language is arguably just as, if not more important than knowing your own love language. Because if you try to force your language onto somebody else, it's going to fall apart. You cannot love somebody the way that you want them to feel loved. You have to be able to meet in the middle.
Like Diamond Rio said. Do you know that song?
Oh, meet in the middle.
I'm going your way, I'm going mine. Meet in the middle. Meet that old Georgia pie. We gained a lot of ground.
This is going on so much longer than I expected it to.
Ain't no road too long. Anyway, let me take my cowboy hat.
I feel like I just tapped into your dad a little bit.
Yeah, that's weird.
What up to?
So, love languages. So, for example, mine and Corey's are drastically different. His is quality time and acts of service. And I think there might be another one, but those are the main ones. And mine are physical touch and... Or maybe that's it. I think my... I think because I was like, which one are you? But I think that was my main one. I mean, the other one would be maybe quality time. But like my last one would be acts of service probably. Or no, actually my last one would be gifts. And then that was the other one, like receiving gifts or something like that. I can't remember the other.
That's mine.
Is that like the actual title of what the language is?
Something like that. Yeah.
So that was Corey's was kind of those three ranked. It was quality time, acts of service, and gifts. And I'm the opposite. Those are my last three. Yeah. And so once we realized this, we're like, oh, we've been like just missing each other. I mean, obviously we loved each other and we still love each other, but it was like, it just helped. It just enhanced everything once we found out. And like he started smacking my butt more, and I was like, and then I started getting him surprises from the grocery store. And we've been happier than ever.
That's solid. We should do like themed episodes. Like our next one should just be relationships.
Ooh.
Maybe that's our whole podcast.
Yeah. We should ask the audience what they think.
That's all I got.
Okay, I was thinking while we were talking, I was thinking if I could find more and make up more, and I can't. The potato chip one really hit me though.
I felt like that was up your alley. I honestly expected the butthole one to click with you more too.
Well, I mean, see a doctor, you know? I ain't no doctor.
The whole point is they're asking us for our advice.
That's my advice. Like, go to a fucking hospital if your butt's purple. I don't know. How the fuck am I gonna know?
You got frostbite on it.
I mean, is that what happened? Yeah, did you put it on a cold pole or something, like that one kid with the tongue?
One kid with the tongue you put on your butthole. Okay, well,
wait, how long have we been talking?
I don't know. 43 minutes.
You know what, we need a joke time. Maybe at the end of every episode we say a joke. So I'll do this joke. You know that white stuff is on... This is the joke. Do you know what that white stuff is on chicken shit?
What?
It's chicken shit, too. Oh! That wasn't funny?
Is that the joke?
It's alright. One more. Maybe you'll laugh at this one. Maybe you just be fucking nice enough to laugh, please. Just fake it. Okay, so there were 2 muffins in an oven. Have I told you this one? Have you heard this one?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
go on.
So there were 2, I feel like you would know from that first line.
I feel like I've heard you say it.
Okay, probably. So I only have like 5.
Your joke bank's a little broke.
If there are 2 muffins in an oven, and one muffin said, "Whew, it's hot in here." And the other muffin said, "Holy shit, talking muffin." That's all, folks. We should probably also close with goodbye and good night. You know, like the guy did. The news anchor guy.
All I can think of is a celebrity deathmatch. Good night and good fight.
Oh. Ooh, I like that.
That's good.
We probably can't use that legally, though.
Probably not.
Yeah. We'll think on it.
Bye forever.
Fuck me, though. Fucking lip laugh toaster bath over here. I can't even think straight.